China just shook the skies. Since the unveiling of the White Emperor, comparisons to the US's NGAD and F-22 have sparked intense debate. Analysts are scrutinizing every detail, from speed and stealth to firepower, as the battle lines in the race for air dominance are clearly drawn. How does the White Emperor truly measure up against these American fighters? And could it tip the balance of power in the skies for years to come? Join us as we compare the capabilities of two sixth-generation air fighters that are bound to change the future of aerial warfare. As tensions between Washington and Beijing continue to escalate, the global race to field sixth-generation fighter aircraft has reached a critical stage, with both nations pouring immense resources into developing platforms designed to dominate the skies and achieve strategic air superiority. The U.S. Air Force's Next Generation Air Dominance Program, or NGAD, is projected to set a new standard when it enters service over the next decade, boasting a combination of manned and unmanned systems, cutting-edge stealth, advanced adaptive engines, and integrated sensor networks. On the other hand, the People's Liberation Army Air Force is constructing its own next-generation fighter, dubbed the White Emperor, which was unveiled recently at the Zhuhai Air Show. According to state-run reports, this ambitious platform is intended to operate not only in the atmosphere, but potentially in near space, showing China's push for strategic flexibility and technological prestige. While some of these claims may appear exaggerated, the rapid pace of Beijing's military modernization, combined with its expanding aerospace capabilities, makes the program a serious point of concern for U.S. military planners. Publicly available images and video footage reveal a fighter with large internal missile bays, capable of carrying increased ordnance without compromising stealth, and a delta-shaped aerodynamic design that emphasizes both speed and maneuverability. Analysts, including the Bulgarian military, have noted the platform's carefully engineered pointed nose, smooth body contours, and multi-layered cockpit canopy, all optimized to reduce radar and infrared signatures, signaling the PLAAF's focus on next-generation stealth. The aircraft's design is said to emphasize a low observable profile while maximizing high-speed maneuverability, allowing it to survive and dominate in contested airspace against advanced fifth-generation and future sixth-generation adversaries. Central to its agility are advanced thrust vectoring engines and a restructured fuselage, which theoretically grant the fighter super maneuverability similar to what the F-22 Raptor can achieve. Such extreme directional responsiveness would be essential in high-stakes air-to-air engagements, enabling pilots to evade missiles, counter hostile fighters, and execute precision strikes under conditions where split-second reaction times could determine the outcome of a battle. The fighter is also reportedly designed with an expanded internal weapons bay, capable of carrying a variety of munitions for multiple mission profiles. This flexibility would allow a single aircraft to switch seamlessly between air-to-air combat, air-to-ground strikes, and even near-space operations, giving the People's Liberation Army Air Force a highly adaptable and survivable tool for both traditional and emerging battle domains. Further distinguishing the White Emperor from its predecessors is the inclusion of directed energy weapons, most notably lasers. These systems, integrated into the airframe, are likely intended to provide simultaneous multi-target engagement, allowing the aircraft to neutralize multiple threats in rapid succession. This capability exemplifies next-generation combat thinking, where advanced sensors, stealth, and precision energy weapons work in concert to provide a decisive advantage. According to reports, including analysis from China Arms, test flights of the White Emperor suggest that the platform is not merely theoretical. It has demonstrated the potential to operate across multiple domains. The aircraft is envisioned to engage in air-to-air duels, precision strikes against ground targets, and missions in near-space environments, where conventional fighters cannot operate effectively. The aerodynamic design also plays a critical role in the fighter's performance. Sleek aerodynamic lines reduce drag while improving stealth, and the multi-layered, reflective minimizing cockpit canopy likely shields pilots from detection. Delta-shaped wings and advanced control surfaces further enhance speed, stability, and responsiveness at supersonic velocities, making the aircraft difficult to track, target, or intercept. Internally, avionics, sensors, and weapon systems are integrated into a unified network, allowing real-time data fusion and rapid decision-making during complex missions. This convergence of stealth, propulsion, and energy weapons is intended to produce a fighter capable of operating independently or in concert with unmanned systems, providing both redundancy and force multiplication. Artificial intelligence plays a central role in the White Emperor, elevating it beyond the capabilities of even the most advanced fifth-generation fighters. This next-generation system is said to process vast streams of real-time data, assess incoming threats, and execute tactical maneuvers without requiring constant pilot input. Such an approach opens the door for both semi-autonomous and fully autonomous missions, where the human role could shift from direct control to mission supervision. This is not just theory. A similar capability has already been demonstrated by the United States Air Force with the experimental X-62 Vista, which showcased how artificial intelligence could assume control of a combat jet in live environments. By following this model, the White Emperor may mark the point where autonomy moves from experimental programs into operational fighter platforms. For the pilot, the benefit is transformative. Instead of being overwhelmed with multiple information streams in the chaos of aerial combat, the onboard systems powered by artificial intelligence deliver immediate, actionable intelligence. Threats can be detected, analyzed, and prioritized in fractions of a second, allowing the pilot to respond faster than human reflexes alone would ever permit. In this sense, the human operator becomes the mission director, relying on the jet's artificial intelligence to execute rapid maneuvers, select optimal weapons, and even coordinate with allied aircraft or unmanned systems flying alongside. Such AI-driven situational awareness effectively allows the White Emperor to fight as a central node in a vast digital battle network. The Aviation Industry Corporation of China has clearly positioned this technology not as an optional feature, but as a core design philosophy. The Indian Defense Research Wing underscored this shift, noting that AVIC's design prioritizes artificial intelligence not just for tactical maneuvering, but as an integral component of multi-unit, networked combat. In practice, this means the White Emperor could seamlessly integrate with other fighters, drones, or command and control systems, exchanging data in real time and executing coordinated strikes across multiple domains. It is a concept that mirrors and perhaps seeks to outpace the United States Air Force's vision for its own next-generation air dominance program, where manned and unmanned systems are designed to operate as a single cohesive force. By integrating this level of autonomy, China is signaling its intent to compete not only in the development of stealth, propulsion, and weapons technologies, but also in the field of digital warfare. The White Emperor could potentially reduce the need for continuous human oversight in high-risk missions, sending unmanned or semi-autonomous units deep into contested airspace where survival odds for a pilot would be minimal. This possibility represents both a technological leap and a strategic shift, moving warfare into an era where decisions are increasingly made by machine intelligence guided by human objectives. The White Emperor is built to be far more than a single-purpose aircraft. Its designers envisioned a machine capable of adapting to nearly any role on the battlefield. This fighter is intended for multi-role missions, able to take on air-to-air engagements, air-to-ground strikes, and even operations in what China claims are near-space environments. Embracing this range, it attempts to cover multiple mission types with one highly adaptable platform. Such flexibility reflects China's broader ambition to field aircraft that are not only powerful but also versatile enough to meet unpredictable combat demands. A major reason for this adaptability lies in the White Emperor's modular systems. Unlike older aircraft that require significant modifications for new missions, the White Emperor can be configured quickly for different combat scenarios. This means the jet can transition from conducting deep strike missions to performing air superiority patrols with minimal delay. In practical terms, this versatility allows China's Air Force to deploy fewer aircraft while still maintaining coverage across a wide variety of missions. By reducing logistical strain and increasing readiness, the White Emperor strengthens China's ability to conduct long, sustained campaigns without exhausting its resources. Equally important is the emphasis on maintenance. a VIC designed for White Emperor with low maintenance requirements in mind. Traditional fourth-generation jets often suffer from long downtimes after missions, but the White Emperor promises high availability with minimal turnaround time. For prolonged operations, where every minute matters, this capability ensures the aircraft can stay in the fight longer and return to the skies faster. It is not just about performance during combat, but also about endurance over the course of days, weeks, or even months of deployment. Where the White Emperor truly shows its futuristic intent is in its networked warfare capabilities. The jet is not meant to fight alone. Instead, it is designed to integrate seamlessly into China's future combat networks, linking up with other aircraft, ground units, and even naval forces. Such interconnectivity transforms the jet from a single war machine into a node in a vast, coordinated system. This concept mirrors the approach of Western programs, such as the United States Air Force's collaborative combat aircraft initiatives, where drones and manned jets work in harmony. By being able to communicate in real time, the aircraft expands tactical options on the battlefield. Pilots can receive live data from drones, pass targeting information to ships, or coordinate with ground-based missile systems. The effect is a wider, more unified battlefield picture, enabling swifter decision-making and more precise strikes. The South China Morning Post emphasized this point by noting, "The jet's networked capability allows coordinated actions with diverse units, reinforcing China's bid for air superiority." Artificial intelligence plays a central role in this networked vision. The White Emperor's onboard systems are designed to process massive amounts of data in real time, filtering and prioritizing information for the pilot, or even handling coordination autonomously. When combined with drones and ground units, this creates a combat environment where China's forces can act faster than their opponents, tightening the decision loop in their favor. Taken together, the White Emperor's operational flexibility and networked capabilities highlight China's determination to dominate future battlefields. By merging adaptability, endurance, and interconnectivity, the aircraft is presented as a cornerstone of a larger vision, one where Chinese forces can seamlessly coordinate across air, land, and sea, maintaining the upper hand in complex, high-intensity conflicts. Unlike traditional fighters, the White Emperor is often described as more than an aircraft, standing somewhere between a combat jet and an aerospace vehicle. Its rumored ability to operate at near-space altitudes marks a fundamental shift in how air dominance might be defined in the future. Reports have emphasized that China's defense industry wants to achieve a qualitative leap that challenges existing superiority dynamics. According to the National Interest, the White Emperor series could reshape contested airspace by bolstering China's ability to project power far beyond its borders. If realized, such an aircraft would not merely match foreign developments, but could redefine them, forcing adversaries to prepare for combat environments extending into the stratosphere. Although details remain scarce, particularly in English-language sources, speculation paints a picture of extraordinary performance. The White Emperor is believed to be capable of reaching top speeds near Mach 5, translating to almost 6,000 kilometers per hour, and covering operational ranges beyond 4,500 miles. Its ceiling is claimed to extend past 100,000 feet, placing it within near-space territory where traditional air defenses lose much of their effectiveness. These numbers alone, if proven accurate, would mark the White Emperor as a once-in-a-generation leap in aerial engineering, setting it apart not only from fifth-generation fighters like the F-35 or the J-20, but also from projects aimed at the sixth generation. The role of artificial intelligence is perhaps the most revolutionary aspect. Instead of simply assisting the pilot with navigation or weapons targeting, the White Emperor is expected to function with full autonomy when required. Real-time decision-making, data assessment, and threat prioritization could all be handled by onboard algorithms, giving the jet an option to operate as an unmanned system. Such autonomy would not only reduce risk to human pilots, but also allow the aircraft to push beyond human physiological limits, especially in high-speed, high-altitude engagements. In parallel, its weapon loadout, which is rumored to include hypersonic missiles and directed energy lasers, would give it the capability to strike with both overwhelming force and precision. Another significant factor is the promise of minimal maintenance requirements. If China's designers succeed in reducing logistical burdens, the White Emperor would not only be more powerful than many of its rivals, but also more available, spending less time grounded and more time deployed on missions. This would give the PLAAF a considerable operational advantage in a drawn-out conflict, where rapid redeployment and sustained pressure are key. Much like the NGAD fighter, the White Emperor is expected to operate alongside unmanned systems, with loyal wingman drones serving as expendable extensions of the manned aircraft's operational reach. In the NGAD framework, collective combat aircraft, or CCA drones, accompany the main fighter, reducing the need for larger quantities of manned aircraft and lowering program costs while providing unprecedented battlefield flexibility. The projected timeline for China's sixth-generation fighter calls for operational deployment by 2035, which means a functional design must emerge before the end of this decade, placing significant pressure on designers and engineers. The United States, however, appears further along in the program, integrating advanced adaptive engines, AESA radars, and networked sensor fusion to create a versatile and stealthy aerial platform capable of dominating contested airspace. On the 21st of March, 2025, President Trump announced that Boeing had been selected to build the United States Air Force's sixth-generation fighter to meet the NGAD requirement, revealing that the aircraft would be known as the F-47. The previous year had seen dramatic shifts in America's two next-generation air dominance programs. Budget pressures forced a reevaluation of priorities, pausing the source selection process for NGAD. The Air Force was instructed to reconsider not only the capabilities it required from the crewed fighter at the heart of the NGAD system, but also whether such an aircraft remained necessary at all. Simultaneously, the United States Navy's F/A-XX effort, often also called NGAD, received renewed attention, clarifying earlier misconceptions that the program had been halted entirely. New strategic challenges quickly emerged. Potential adversaries, particularly China, sought ways to deny the U.S. and its allies the freedom to conduct operations in their preferred manner. China's response took the form of the Anti-Access Area Denial Strategy, or A2/AD, designed to prevent American forces from entering key operational areas and to limit their freedom of action within those zones. By using long-range air defenses, advanced missiles, hypersonic glide vehicles, and layered detection systems, China aims to push enemy aircraft to more distant bases, complicate refueling and battle management, and disrupt operational tempo. It is important to note that A2/AD does not make airspace impenetrable. Instead, it forces adversaries to operate under constraints, slowing or redirecting their actions and preventing deep strikes. In parallel, China has sought to achieve significant mass in its forces, challenging the numerical advantage the United States once enjoyed. Andrew Hunter, the outgoing acquisition executive for the U.S. Air Force, acknowledged the competitive pressures, noting that China could beat the U.S. to the punch. He added that while the U.S. may eventually possess superior capability, the U.S. certainly has no time to lose. Current American fighters, such as the F-35A, have a combat radius of only 590 nautical miles, or 1,093 kilometers, while the F-22A has an even smaller radius when relying on supercruise. Both aircraft would need to refuel within approximately 500 nautical miles, or 926 kilometers, of their targets, a requirement that places tankers in vulnerable positions, effectively leaving them as sitting ducks under modern A2/AD conditions. This evolving environment demonstrates why NGAD, combined with advanced air refueling and networked operations, is critical. Without such innovations, U.S. and allied air forces would struggle to penetrate adversary defenses, sustain prolonged missions, or maintain the operational freedom necessary to secure decisive air superiority in the decades ahead. The strategic and technological imperatives driving NGAD reflect a profound shift in how aerial warfare will be conducted against peer adversaries. Another uncomfortable reality is that the United States Air Force can barely afford a next-generation air dominance fighter with a unit cost of approximately $300 million within the time frame the aircraft will be required. This is unusual for a service that has historically been the best-funded Air Force in the world. Currently, the U.S. Air Force is prioritizing the two legs of the nuclear triad for which it is responsible, the B-21A Raider bomber and the LGM-35A Sentinel, also known as the ground-based strategic deterrent. Both programs consume a massive portion of the budget, and with the Sentinel program's cost nearly doubling to just under $141 billion, there is little room left for an expensive NGAD manned fighter. This budget constraint, rather than any change in threat perception, drives the push to reduce NGAD costs. Ultimately, a high-capability, long-range NGAD core manned fighter is essential, even if it comes at a high cost. Only about 200 units are expected, and none will likely be exported, limiting economies of scale. Proposals for lighter NGAD variants would augment, rather than replace, the main platform. The Air Force has long considered dual versions, one optimized for long-range, heavy payloads in the Indo-Pacific, and another for shorter-range operations in Europe. The vision includes a clean-sheet design with open mission systems capable of rapid software updates, ensuring the NGAD remains a high-end fighter while allowing smaller, lower-cost aircraft to handle day-to-day missions, preserving the core platform for high-intensity operations. Thanks for watching. Before you go, click the link on your screen to check out another video. See you there.